back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment in the Quickview series. This one is... My body is ready. What do we love? Green. What else do we love? Pins. Okay, not all of us love pins. They are a love or hate. Some people refuse to run a pin tire just because of how it looks. But I've got to say, this is green. This is the JConcepts Rock Bumps. Full, big boy, 575, the JCon 4072. I think the only thing they've gotten wrong, of course, we haven't been on the rocks yet. This is fresh out of the bag. They got two things wrong. One, when they printed out the labels, 5250D. No, sir. No, they are not. And they named them Rock Bumps, which is genuinely and truly on the top of the list for worst named tires. Soft honorable mention to Endure for the Klingon, because they like the Klingon. I don't know. It is a name that is evocative, much as Rock Bumps is. No ribbing, no belting. It's green. Look at that. Look at that beautiful shine. It's definitely green compound. And unlike some of the other 575s as of recent, good old JConcepts medium. Nice medium foam. Will these tires have the magical tire to foam agreement that we've seen on other JConcepts and Upgrade RC? And a handful. We're seeing better tires, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This tire has, of course, been ventilated 4 times. I would ordinarily say 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, every 90 degrees. But someone pointed out that if you do them at 5 to, you just clock them over an hour, you can get better performance out of it. So when we punched these, we did indeed clock them over an hour. 4 4mm holes. It is my hole of choice. This is also a new set of the test wheels. Don't mind that they are pink-purple. They're somewhere right between pink and purple. Is that violet? Somewhere between pink and purple. Fuchsia? These are something that has been rambling around in my head. Do I do independent reviews of things like beadlocks? Because I have very different requirements of beadlocks. This is now in a little drawer behind me that says 2.2 test wheels, which means that they are installed on a wheel like this. The test on a tire like this, the test is performed, then they are unmounted, they're put back in the drawer, rinse and repeat until they've worn out. So when I am looking at tires, I don't know, or when I'm looking at wheels, I don't know if my requirements are the same as everyone else's. Always assembled with power tools, because I only have so many hours in a day. So I look at the size of the flange, the size of the screw head. I look at a lot of things that I don't know if other people are looking at those things, to be completely honest. I look at, is the beadlock ring standardized? You saw the ease of mounting. It's a 575 JConcepts on a foam that is made for the 575 JConcepts, so they mount right up. 146. That's a big boy. That is just a hair under 5 3, like a millimeter under. So we're really close there. They state the width at 1.75. That's 50 millimeters, which is the 1 in 15/16. So they're a little fatter. We have a pin, which I know the name is supposed to harken back to a clay tire they have called Goosebumps, and it does. We have a very similar tread pattern to a clay tire. Realistically, a manufacturer could just recarcass all of these layouts in our size and we would undoubtedly see performance. JConcepts Barcode, aka City Block. What are these? Gridirons, aka gridirons. Here is also the differential between the things of now and the things of then. All of these tires are at least 10 years old or more, and we have no degradation of the sidewall. Can you tell these have been balanced? Because they have. All wheels balanced. We have no. These look as good as new. And these will grip like crazy, even having a rock hard foam, because a pin is a pin, and this is a pin in JConcepts Green. JConcepts Green is a compound that can make pretty much anything work. It's just a question of will that pattern, will that layout work with everything? The Tusk and the Megalithic, the answer has kind of been yes. This is the first that I am aware of in JConcepts Green of seeing a pin tire. I am both excited that it is a 575, and I'm like, oh, I wish it was a 525 or a 475 so it would have more fitments. 575 is a fitment that if you have something big enough to run it, do. If you don't, build something big enough to run it. Like, look how small he looks now with these big. These are big. I am excited, folks. Green compound, pin, side lug on a pin. We should have a. He's 3,000 grams. He's a 3 kilogram boy. This should be a very good foam to tire collaboration. It has been in all of the JConcepts that we've tested recently, save for, inexplicably, the full size, the 575 Landmine, which came with a foam hard enough to be used structurally. That one got away from them. I don't know. So I think all that they've really, rock bumps. Any other rock and almost any other word would be, they could have named them rock, and I would have preferred it. You know what? I kind of like rock. I like JConcepts Green. I like driving the Wolverine. I like having you all with me when I head outside to run through the 10 stops of the Class 3 tire test protocol. Let's hope that we don't break any rod ends today, because it's always a risk. Tumbledore is in the mix. Let us see how they did. Let us see how we do. Let us see how high these climb up the leaderboard, because honestly, there's nothing to tell me that it won't be pretty high. 'Tis relatively early in the day. Look at that pickup from those tires. 64, 1770 or thereabouts. Decent conditions. We're doing a little bout of summer routinely during the day, around 100 degrees. So we get out nice and early. I made every conceivable effort not to get my hopes up for the rock bumps, but I mean, come on. It's a green pin, and it's huge. This is really gonna be something else. You get that little spot right there. No walk to it at all. Just right in between. You are going to see more wheel slip today than you might typically see in a Class 3 test, because I'm going for the hardest stuff. We're going to border on tire mistreatment here, where if I know there's a section where things tend to get bound up or slip, we're steering right towards that. There is Zero push. None. Okay, right there. I don't know how well it would have shown or how it looked. There's a spot where we get in a little groove right there. We're in a little notch where passenger rear tire is the only tire that has any bite. So I wanted to see what these, I can't say rock bumps. I and some of the followers of the canyon have been jokingly calling them geologic infections because rock bump is, it's terrible. I can't get around it. It's terrible. The performance is going to have to be such that it makes me forget. It really is. It is already making me forget. Good God. Okay. Here's how we're going to do it. We do the negative scoring, which is the best you can hope for is a 99. 99 is hard to get. Really, really hard to get. See right here? We can get that little, if I intentionally bury it between the wheelbase, we're going to get slip because we've got traction at each end fighting against each other. Basically, I know it's a little bit of too much of a peek behind the curtain, but I can tell most of what I need to know about most tires. 60% of the time, it works every time. I can tell within the first 2 minutes. This tire is a 98 plus, and unless something just runs completely off the rails. It's going to be really good at something, and then there's going to be a weakness because no tire is the best at everything. So we're going to operate from moving forward off of a 98. So that's a 9.8 because what stops this from being a 9.9 is I can do this. Because that pin, because those little shapes are so small, at that low of a wheel speed, which is honestly maybe 70 RPM, I can kind of hang it up. Now, if we go to the same exact location and it's modest in its performance at medium to high throttle. It's a 9.8. It's a 9.8, and we're just going to operate off of the assumption that we're going to 9.8 across the board, and we will adjust accordingly. I think everything is telling me this is a tire that's going to be wholly consistent. That this is going to be a 2/10 tire. We'll almost certainly see some 9.9s. We may see a 9.7. I don't know. That's the stuff I don't know. I can get a picture of the general. Is that going to overbite? Ooh. Ooh. Got a little bit of collapse there. So we just angle it over. We know the spot on the face. There's no slip there. None. You get between wheelbase. And that right here, driver rear, kind of muscling it into a spot. We move a quarter of the width of the tire. You'll also see some stuff in here where we are using incredibly low throttle inputs. And because we've got the compound and we've got a pin in that compound, the biggest takeaway so far on the RBs for me is the steering accuracy is still great. Look at the height of that sidewall. 5.75, big, tall sidewall. And they've kind of done it again. You know, if you're dabbling in sportsman stuff, you're almost certainly, oh man, this pull right here, brap. You're almost certainly going to be going to some extremely bespoke insert. But JConcepts, again, with the exception of that 2.2 landmine, the foam that comes with the tire works great. And this is no exception. I'm still, okay, I want to go right here. Okay, bad entry. We're going to go straight to bad entry. I need to be able to get it to drop just like that. I want to hook edge. I don't want to get too far right. See, that's a little push right, which is going to put us into another tough spot. I'm getting a little lift there. Really controllable where that comes on, though. I want this spot right here, right here. Can't quite get to it. So the subtle difference between a 9.8 and a 9.9 is a 9.9 will get me that ability to pull that back. But we're still floating on a 9.8. Really hoping that the insert is firm enough to keep that sidewall in shape across here, because we could fold it over. No, it looks good in the front. Let's see on the rear. We're gonna get a big weight transfer here at transition. Couldn't even get to the transition. Come on. Come on. That was that front getting into the transition, and there it is again. It's got a really weird fall away. Okay, come in higher. Try to stay above that little dip. I can feel the rear getting light already. Nice and slow. Yeah, a little bit of over collapse at the front. And there you go. But still, there's a predictability that will be brought about by putting more wheel time on the tire, basically. So when I come at a more direct approach, yeah. What is surprising, if there's to be a surprise here, other than the retention of turning circle, there's not an overwhelming bias to forward drive. Like, they're not just about forward drive. The performance is really rounded. And for how small that lug is, boop. The height of the lug might be, the height of the lug is the double-edged sword here. It's not getting that supreme amount of bite, but it's also maintaining and generating quite a good bit of consistency. And the turning circle, for a 5.75, that turning circle is fantastic. Okay, now let's see if we get even low. Nope, see it? See it go light? See it go light? That's insert all the way. I think right there, probably got it. Is it gonna lift? Not really, not really. It is not, well, we should really be a little more sportsman to really see it. Really evenly balanced, particularly for something of this size, for a pin. It doesn't just forward drive. So I'm gonna keep it. We're staying consistent. No pluses, no minuses so far. I see this tire having no issues. I mean, we got a breakover spot right here to enter. Shouldn't be a problem on a tire of this height and capper portals. Little in between, slow it down. Will that cut back? I want to see the cut back. Really good. Yeah. It's maybe the perfect amount of side lug for a pin tire. What we don't have is enough pin tires that have any side lug at all. Yeah, once they bite in, they're eating. Let's also not forget, kind of mainly talking to myself here in this instance, this is not a weighted combo. Fairly typical amount of weight, like 220 to 240 grams per corner, which for a 575 is reasonably low. It's not like a carbon wheel low. You'd have to be compensating with a lot of axle weight. So this is a very neutral setup. We're getting just about the right amount of conformity without sacrificing stability. Tire really bends nicely over obstacles. Yeah. This is one where I want to get one that doesn't bind. Yeah, I got to give it a 10th here. So long as you avoid anything mechanical. Oh, can he do it? There we go. Okay, this is full self-drive. So no steering manipulation, no throttle manipulation. We're at 26% throttle. We're in a little in-between spot. If I give this, I wish we could get the focus on both. Wait, right, we'll go. Like I gave about 5% steering. Yeah, that's a point bump. So we're now sitting on 98.1. And I'm trying to think, if this holds up at gate 5 the way I think it will, I can't see deductions. It's a green pin. I mean, it is doing precisely, we're gonna overload? No. It is doing precisely what I would anticipate a green pin to do. That's about 23% throttle. You're gonna push? No. Nice and tight in. Use your clearance over the top. Oh man. Again, I have to keep reminding myself, 5.75 inches tall. So our CG went up 8, 9, 10 millimeters. How about the push? Any push? Will that have enough scrabble to grab it back? Well, it won't have enough scrabble to bring it back, but what it will have is enough height and clearance to... There's a point where the traction falls away. It's true of any tire, but the traction is falling away somewhere after we overwhelm the foam. You know, it's gonna be, you're gonna be running some sort of 3D, some sort of dual, some crawler innovation, some sort of dual stage, real soft on the outer, firmer on the inner. Let's see if we get any collapse out this way. None. It did not. There's a point right here. We've got that, pardon, we've got that driver front just crushed over on the side right here. And what'll happen is the weight transfer will overwhelm the tire's ability to hold that lateral load, so you get some slippy, pushy, slidey. 0%. It just hooks and turns. We're getting no help from the other front tire. Look at it just pivot. That's a noise, is it not? Tremendous. That's another 10th. The manipulability of this tire honestly, here's the wildest claim I will make. This has the feel of something with a Class 1 sidewall. This does not feel like single stage foam until you get real deep into your angle. Look at this cut. Crazy stable for how tall the tire is, for how tall the sidewall is, for how high the rig sits compared to how it's normally outfitted. Actually, you might end up with, you're almost certainly going to end up with an insert split in these. I think you could probably get away with running the single stages in the front. Okay, I'm going to get way out on the bow here just to see where it's going to hold. Settle, 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 settle. They are very tall. That's Geo. I got to get it a little wider. Let that slide down. Oh, I'm telling you. Okay, we've tested a tire or two here. A tire that will do that which is being asked of it in that moment, that is the best tire. Okay? I hit a point there at the middle. There's a little transition where we swing around, we hook the edge, we get right up over here, and now passenger rear is going to get out on a point. It's going to get on that point right there. And then what I'm going to do is probably overwhelm the geometry. No, we got higher. If I gave, that's a Class 3 rig going through a Class 3 course that is basically Class 2 gate widths. If I gave 10s, I would give this tire a 10. Oh, for what it's doing here at gate 5. It will outgrip your geometry if your geometry isn't ready. I want to see right here. Nothing has managed to pull that face where passenger rear is at right now. That's a little cheaty right there. Oh, excellent on the side. Now I'm going to stay in it. I'm going to stay in it. We might have to reverse a little bit. Oh, these are outdoing the generic Capra-esque Geo. So slow on the input. I want to see. Okay, that's way over the top on the rear. All right. Gonna position, slide it. Microscopic additional throttle input. And just, oh, little touch. I don't give 10s. But I'm gonna give a 10 for that. The ability, the whole pass through there, all I could feel was the limitations of that vehicle and its geometry. Like the tire, it goes, I will take you as far as this vehicle can go. 98.1, 98.2, 98.4. 98.4. If they've done a thing, it's that they've made Wolverine feel like the sportsman he isn't. Right on there. If you look right about here, it's kind of subtle. Right there, passenger rear, there's a little slot, just a little groove right there. And that groove perfectly coincides with what is faced up against driver front, which is a little lip right there. You can kind of almost see it looks like a tire track coming down off that rear tire. This is stuff by design. If your wheelbase is longer or shorter, you don't have as much of a problem, but we have a test vehicle, so we kind of, we oriented an obstacle in such a way as to confound my Class 3 setup. The steering accuracy is fantastic. Better than a huge pin. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's too much tire. Stop. Look, you're not going to self-right it. Just get up and flip him over. Okay, look. This is counterproductive in the extreme. These are the kinds of shenanigans that a 3625 will allow, because we kind of know when we're going to brake. Just feed it. Feed it the bad entry. Okay, I got to get that sidewall somewhere. I need a hop. Give me a little hop. Side lug right here. Not explicitly helping us. Get right there. Okay, now over the block. Very nice. I would also like to point out that I feel like the more difficult, the more is being asked of it, the better it's doing. So the scores are getting higher as we get further in. It's that same exact spot, but I caught it this time. I feel like I'm putting off the center cut because I'm afeared. I don't want to see an over collapse one end to other. I just want to see a pull over. And I want to see a clean on the first shot. A little bit between the wheelbase. Nope. A little higher. Try higher. Higher is tougher. Right here. Ooh, just a throw into the air. We got past our geometry a while ago. Okay, now grab. Nope. There's no weight on the front end right now. None. And I'm looking at the amount of collapse. It's just not there. Oh. Petition JConcepts right now. If this was a 525 rock bump, it might be the most grip I've seen out of a tire. And I didn't think I would see more grip than I saw in a 525 megalithic. I'm going to try to hook this top edge. Just like that. That's madness. There's so much grip, and we're running the same insert all the way around, that this is an imperfect setup for the vehicle to which it's being fitted. That's why we run it on the vehicle to which it is fitted. So we're trying to isolate that variable. Inserts can make a huge difference. As far as the stock setup goes, I can't even go ahead and say that the stock setup on the 525 on the LP megalithic is better, because, you know, we're talking about the CG advantage being shorter. Will I be able to blind it? I need to get, because we're sitting so wide. Right there, right there. Hook edge, hook edge. Wherever you want to go, you aim this tire there, and it will go, it'll get a little whiplash on you. Not my line. And then it will pick another line, and that line might be harder than the one you were aiming at. I think it's human nature. We trend towards path of least resistance. You wouldn't think, oh, well, I need to hook high on a spot on a rock that I've never hooked high on before. It is so predictable, yet enigmatic. Like right here. Am I going to get overbite? But so controllable. Good grief. Little in between the wheelbase. So what do? We cut back. We give that rear tire some advantage. Go the other way. We've got 5.75, so all we got to do is get the belly over. This is maneuverability. So high. I mean, these are the linebacker ballerina. They're big, wide, so maneuverable. Don't let off throttle. 98.5. It's a 9.9. It's a 9.9. It's so much traction, but it's also just absolute maneuverability. It's kind of everything I want in a tire that size. Have we had any kind of settle or shift? No. This is one of those tires that not only did everything that I anticipated, but really shines a light. Oof, so many tires that can't perform a single simple function being asked of it, and these are opposite. I truly believe and maintain that these tires are gripping past the geometry, and that's not. I want to emphasize how out of the ordinary that is. That you can feel when you get to a point where a tire starts to lift, or you can't quite pull it over. I can physically feel that it's not the tire. Green and a pin is everything we thought green and a pin would be. And I can get them as wet as you'd like, because our contact patch is actually so small. You will not see any lack of grip at all. These, I love hyperbole. Probably even more than the next guy. But I would say that the JConcepts Rock Bumps feels like a tire that's turning the earth beneath it. It will overwhelm geometry. It will provide an amount of grip. It's like circular silly putty. 98.6, which ties it with the Extreme Route huge pin in Dawnwall, which is fitting. When you get into tires of this capability and capacity, honestly, the score, a numerical score, is almost secondary, because you have to look at this tire and the vehicle to which it's fitted as effectively untuned. It's the foam that came out of the bag. It is a very middle of the road geometry, which I would say is more suited to a 525. We would need even more link separation at the rear, like those giant Capra link risers that you see. So a lot of that wheel lift is brought about by that. I can't accommodate and adapt to every single tire that we test. So a 525, you're going to see, whoa, because I feel like this rig really is 525 optimized. I have more than one rig here that dedicatedly run 575 tires, and this is right there in the running, particularly up against the huge pin, unquestionably. These, I prefer the performance profile of this, the snappiness, the manipulability of this over the huge pin by a decent margin. Having said that, I could see an instance of Rock Bumps front, huge pins rear. I could say we might have to travel down that avenue to see how that works out. 98.6 is tied for 4th place. It goes Hot Body Sedona, Panther Cougar, Proline Chisel, now tied, two-way tie for 4th place. 2.2 Extreme Route Huge Pin, and the 2.2 JConcepts Rock Bumps. These are very niche. These are almost super niche. You have to have something that particularly fits them. If you're slapping them on a vehicle that weighs 8 pounds, probably going to get overwhelmed. Your insert is going to become hypercritical at that point. These are geared towards sportsman MOA type situations, and these are really stupid good. And advantage over the Extreme Route Huge Pin, which does not come with an insert, and these come with fantastically well paired inserts. This is truly, this is one of the great pleasures, bonus benefits of doing this, what you're looking at right and listening to right now. I was not supplied these tires. No one was. A lot of times, people are kind enough to send them in. I paid for these with the money made by you people doing this, watching and listening to this, and I regret it not at all. In terms of cost-benefit analysis, currently these are for sale for around $37 a pair from JConcepts. Unavailable elsewhere. They just came out, so after shipping, you're legitimately looking at about $90 for a set of tires. That's a lot of money. At this size, in this category, not only is that competitive, that's actually really pretty good. Because the huge pins are $80 a set without foams. So you're going to be getting yourself some crawler innovations to the tune of another $60. And now you've spent $150 on wheels and tires. I mean, on tires and inserts. That hasn't gotten to the wheels yet. And if you're running some carbon or some deluxe, you're putting $200 to $250 on in wheels, tires, and inserts. So, bargain. We're looking at a bargain, relatively speaking. These are going into service here without question. Whether that be a pair of them mixed with huge pins or just on as L4, we'll get there. We'll find that out. 98.6. I made a half-completed thought earlier about the advantage of doing this, the YouTube channel thing, because one of the tires I tested most recently was the LP Megalithic, which is unbelievable as a 525. Unbelievable how good they are. Do they look terrible? Yes. Do they make up for it in performance? Yes. Do these look terrible? No. Do they have a horrible name? Good God, yes. I don't even like thinking Rock Bumps. But the performance more than makes up for it. It does not surprise me on any level. The tires that populate the extreme high top end of the leaderboard. And I don't think it should or would surprise you either. So, what would surprise me is if you were counter to my requests and did not do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the canyon. Now we begin the slow down, because it's almost a certainty that whatever we test next doesn't live up to the 525 LP Megalithic and the Rock Bump. But you know what we do? We soldier on, because Every silver lining's got to have a cloud, and it's been all silver lining. If you can fit it, and by that I mean the rock bumps, and you know you need it, they are that good.